but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything, sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
It's the chase! It's the chase! Live 1 to 3, Monday through Friday on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville. Listen to Chase and his friends on WKG. It's the chase. It's the Scruffy City. Listen to his friends, and his friends are on WKGN. I'm always taking your calls on the Tennessee Vols. It's the chase. It's the chase. It's the chase.
Hello, Knoxville. The Chase is on Fan Run Sports Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app. My name is Chase Thomas, joined alongside Ryan Shumpert of Rocky Top Insider, coming to you live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios right here in East Tennessee. We have new faces behind the board. You'll get to know Brett a whole lot more here this week. Here he's on the next couple weeks, Tuesdays and Thursdays, producer of Under Review with Bob Basketball and Sam Beard here with us. New intern Alex Sarkis joining us as well that we'll hear from here in a bit. But we've got a big time guest out of the gate, Jackson Herrington, coming on here in just a couple minutes. But before we get to the Vols golf superstar, Ryan Shumpert, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Glad to be back on here.
Yeah, it's I'm excited, man. How you helped us land Jackson here. He had a big time weekend golf, big tee time today as well. Yeah. And there's all kind he's the talk of the town. I mean, Lady Vols soccer obviously had a great week last week at the upset over North Carolina, but hey, it's another great week for Everything School HQ with that upset victory over the Heels, and now Jackson Herrington making national waves.
Yeah, athletic calendar starting with a bang. So
yes.
Really cool. It was awesome watching Jackson last week out in California, and Vol. I need more big time Vol golf, and Brennan Webb is getting it moved in that direction. So excited to see what Jackson does the rest of the year, and then obviously hopefully a long pro career after that.
Yeah, did you see? I think Brennan Webb he posted because he was at the tournament watching Jackson play, and he was getting after it, man.
He was. It was an exciting. It was a road environment with Shills Donegan, the UNC golfer, who Jackson was facing in the semifinals, being a Northern California native. So it was. I'm glad Brennan Webb was giving some loud Tennessee support for what was largely an away environment for Jackson.
Yeah, it was. And we heard from Josh Heupel today. So we'll dive into what Josh Heupel told Tennessee media here today in his first mock game week press conference this week, where, what Josh Heupel is doing these Monday, morning press conferences, then that it's about time for football time here in Tennessee. So we'll break down what Heupel said. We'll talk about Savion Hyder and him spurning Tennessee for Michigan here at the bottom of hour number one. And hour number two, we'll dive into some 3 things to look out for in the opener against Syracuse. We'll talk to Evan Altman, Cubs insider, on the Chicago Cubs and where things stand with them. And then we'll also talk about some MLB expansion and some Vols hoops backcourt questions. So jam-packed show for you guys today. And on the line right now, Vols golf superstar Jackson Herrington. Jackson, how are you doing, sir?
Great. How are you guys?
We're doing great. Thank you for making some time here. This has just been an all-time blitz of a weekend for you, right?
It's been great. I appreciate y'all having me, but yeah, it's been pretty busy. I got home. I think we finished at. I think we got done at 7:00 on, was it Sunday, and had a flight at 12:30 a.m. and landed in Nashville at 8 a.m. and drove straight to Knoxville for a compliance meeting. So there's really no stop, and now we're about to do some qualifying out here at Tennessee National. So yeah, we're still going.
I'm sure the high of a compliance meeting on Monday morning in Knoxville was probably pretty similar to just a marathon of golf you were playing last week in San Francisco, right?
Yeah, for sure. But it saved myself quite the headache. If I wasn't there, I was going to have to meet with seven individual people at different times of the week. So I definitely made sure I was going to be there.
Well, we love it. We appreciate you making some time here for us, Jackson. Out of the gate, so one of the things you said, I was reading from Golf Monthly here, just recapping your weekend and how you played in the amateur tournament here. You said, quote, "I got through a lot of people this week, and it was tough. I proved myself I could do it. He played good, and I didn't play great. It was unfortunate I was that way, but I learned a lot about myself, so it was good." What did you learn about yourself from this tournament?
Just a lot of the mental toughness that I had. You know, I knew I had it, but I mean, I'm sure everybody saw in that Donegan match, my semifinal match. Everybody, I mean, there's 700-800 people out there all cheering for him, and you know, it was kind of similar in the match before, so I kind of got to see it and got used to it before that match. But I knew it was going to be a mental grind. It was tough. I kind of showed myself that even if things were stacked against me, that I could still do it, you know? So that was really nice to see. Yeah, it was, besides that match, it was just a mental grind. Even if I didn't have my best stuff, I know it was one of those matches, I think I took the 20 holes. I just didn't have my best stuff that day. And so just staying in it, sticking to my game plan, even when I didn't have my best stuff, and showing myself that even if I didn't have my A game, I could still beat some of the best players in the world. So that was really good to see.
I'm glad you touched on the mental stuff, because I was going to ask you about that. One, just with the Donegan match, how have you ever been in an experience like that where you're playing a golf match and you're kind of, you know, the essence, the away team, something you don't see in golf much? And then I know they talked about, at least on the broadcast, how early for you in your freshman season, you know, improving your mental game was a big focus of yours. So just how rewarding was it to be tested mentally and kind of come out on the other side, proving to yourself that you could persevere through it?
Yeah, it was really rewarding. I've never really played in front of a crowd that was fully against me. I mean, obviously there was, you know, a handful of people out there that were for me. But having that big of a crowd and almost everybody out there being for the other kid that I was playing against is something I hadn't experienced before. So it was kind of new territory for me, but I kind of fueled off of it. And I'm told a lot of people this, but I really loved hearing that crowd quiet when I was making birdies and winning holes. So I really fueled off of that. I wanted to hear it as much as possible. So yeah, but also the mental side of things, just making sure my mind was quiet was huge for me. I talked to my mental coach every single morning before I played, especially that semifinals match. And, you know, he gave me some pointers to do, you know, while I was walking down the fairways. If I ever felt, you know, like I was getting ahead of myself or felt tight or nervous, just what he calls a set one. Basically, you want to feel like you stand over the ball and you can take the club out of your hands and it feels like the club is still there. So just make sure everything is relaxed. And, you know, that helps me quiet my mind too. So I think that was a big thing for me, just making sure I stayed in it, stayed focused, and made sure my mind was quiet. And I think that all kind of helped. But regardless, that putt on the last hole it was not easy to make. So I knew it was on the line going into it, and, you know, that made that putt going in feel so much better.
Did you know that about yourself just as long as you've been playing big time golf, that you love to silence the crowd, and that's just kind of how you're wired, that is fuel for you? Or is that something you found out this week?
I think I kind of knew it was kind of that way, but I didn't think I loved it as much as I had like that week, because I'd never played in front of a crowd like that big. So I think I found out how much I truly love it with that big of a crowd that week. But I definitely found it pretty cool and pretty awesome how much I fueled off of it. So I think that was definitely a benefit. That I definitely think some people that week that lost to him definitely fell to the crowd, because I think I was talking to my coach about it. The kid was great. Obviously, he was a good player, but I think also his game also elevated off the crowd and feeding off of it to make him that much better. So I think some of those kids might have fell to that as well, but I definitely fueling off of it probably helped me a little bit more than other kids. So I was glad that I could get it done.
Has it hit you that you're going to be playing in the Masters next year yet?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, it's pretty cool. Scott Stallings, he was here yesterday when I got here, and he gave me his yardage book he used in 23 and an Augusta National hat. So that was pretty awesome. But I think I've been going so hard for the last couple of days that I haven't really had time to like sit there and like truly think about it. But it has somewhat hit me. Like me and our head coach are just sitting there like talking about like what are we gonna do to prepare for the Masters, even though it's over 250 days away. So I mean that's definitely hit me, but I think it's gonna hit me pretty hard here soon.
I know that you had a nice little run at the U.S. Amateur last year, but that format is just so unique, and it's such a long event. How consistent do you have to stay, and how challenging is it to get through what is really just a gauntlet of a week compared to really any other event that you've played in, or really any other event in golf, period?
Yeah, it's a brutal week. You get there 2 practice rounds, and then you go play 2 stroke play. I mean, it's really 2 tournaments in itself. So, I mean, you got 4 rounds right there, but really in the first 2 rounds, you're just trying to make match play. You're just trying to survive. And then once you get past, I felt like it was a whole new mindset. Obviously you can be a little more aggressive. But it's a grind, I know it. I got to, round of 16 and quarterfinals, and I was definitely feeling a little tired. So I made sure I was doing as much as I could, rest, like recovery wise. I was trying to get at least 8 hours of sleep. I was doing the Normatec boots. I was getting a massage in the mornings and after, and so it was a grueling week, and you just have to stay on top of things to play well all week. But I was telling all my buddies and family that if there was one day that I wanted to not play well, it was definitely in that final match. After I've already had the exemptions and already got everything I had, and it's not first, but second was still pretty damn good.
You mentioned it, a long time between now and when you'll tee it up at Augusta National. What do you want to achieve? What's next for you between now and then?
Yeah, I just want to, I want to continue the good play. I want, not just for myself, but I definitely would love to see our team play really well too. That would be amazing, and I would love to definitely get one, if not a couple wins under my belt before I get there. But yeah, I'm just excited to have a good year with these boys. Obviously, a smaller team this year with our head count rule, but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting after it with all the boys and seeing what we can do.
Jackson, we appreciate the time. We know you're jam-packed schedule-wise this week, and we're happy that you had just such a great showing this weekend, and excited to see you in the Masters next year, U.S. Open as well. So congrats all around, and hope you have a great fall, and we'll have to check back in with you again soon.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Jackson
Herrington, Vol star men's golfer. Big weekend for him, Ryan Shumpert, and we're going to see him in the Masters next year. It's going to be, just a great showing for SEC golf as well, with the Georgia, Tennessee side of things. But you were all over this weekend. And I remember talking to Brennan Webb, UT men's golf coach, a couple months ago on my podcast, and he talked about Jackson. And obviously Caleb Surratt had a lot of headlines, but Jackson Herrington has that same kind of star quality to him that Tennessee fans should be excited about, because he's 19, I think. So yeah, the sky is the limit for him, and great showing this weekend, and excited to see what's in store for him, because the future is very bright for Jackson Herrington.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing we didn't, we could have ideally talked a little bit longer with him, so we'll have to get him on here again at some point. We didn't get to it. I mean, the art of the nickname is lost in American sports, and Fridge is just an awesome nickname. And we also need some good left-handed golfers. We got a lack of good left-handed golfers in the PGA Tour right now. So We need Jackson Herrington there at some point. Some time between then and now, and hopefully he'll win some tournaments for the Vols. But at some point,
is Shump your only nickname, or do you have another nickname that we don't know about from Nashville?
No, not from Nashville. Grant Ramey, I think, is more to. I don't know. Some of the guys around here call me Rhino. But
Rhino.
Yeah, I'm Shump mostly.
Okay, I don't like Rhino. Doesn't fit. Grant Ramey, rare miss from Grant Ramey there. Rare miss.
This one, no one's called me this in a long, long time, but a younger nickname, kind of on the same note as Rhino, was Shumpopotamus.
Oh, that's just it. We're going down. Like, this is just getting progressively worse. The animal nicknames don't work for Shump. Like, they don't work. It's like the Bachmeyers, where there's Hank and then there's Tiger and Bear. You're the Hank of the Bachmeyer family. You can't have a animal name. Like, I've got a verb, so we're locked in Chase as a verb, pretty good. But Rhino and Rhino, I don't even know what the other one was you just threw out there. But we're not going down that rabbit hole. Ryan Shumpert. Rare miss, though, from VolQuest.
He wasn't the only Vol in the U.S. Amateur, right? Wasn't there a couple others? Am I wrong? Like a Bruce Murphy or Lance Simpson?
Lance Simpson.
We saw him play. Did he already play in a major this year? Did I see his name in something?
Yes, he was in the U.S. Open.
Okay, yeah, that's
Lance
what I
Simpson
thought.
was.
So
I think
Vols Golf's in a great spot.
I believe Lance has graduated. I'm not 1,000% sure on that.
Okay, yeah, he might have.
But he's been on the team the last handful of years.
I thought they mentioned like all three as the event got started.
Yes, they did.
Like that. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, really cool.
There we go. When we come back, we'll welcome in our new intern here. We'll get Brett in here as we have a full house here on a Tuesday with Ryan Shepard of Rocky Top Insider in studio with us. Thank you to Jackson Herrington again from Vols Golf joining us here at the top of today's show. We'll talk about what Josh Heupel told the media today here in his first media scrum for his mock game week. We'll react to it and most interesting takeaways from it. We'll also talk about Savion Hyder and what that means for Tennessee's 2026 class as he picks the Wolverines over the Vols. Stick with us. It's the Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app.
For the fans, by the fans, this is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Running a business, coaching a team, planning your next big event, you need more than just gear. You need SM Athletics and Logo Solutions. Custom uniforms, branded apparel, promotional products, done right, done fast, and built to show off your brand with pride. From local businesses to high schools to major universities, SM Athletics is trusted by winners. Get real service, get real quality, get noticed. SM Athletics and Logo Solutions, where your brand comes to life.
Visit smathletics.com and let's build something great together.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Reel in a great catch with checking accounts at Citizens National Bank. You don't have to keep fishing around. CNB makes banking easy. Earn interest with rewards, or open a good life and enjoy travel opportunities. If a simple and straightforward account is important to you, CNB offers that too. Citizens National Bank's checking accounts are the catch of the day. Visit cnbtn.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mike Costa at Knoxville Smiles. Here at Knoxville Smiles, we're all about making it easier for you to see the dentist. That's why we're now open until 7 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If going to the dentist in the morning or during normal business hours doesn't fit your busy schedule, come see us a little later. Call 865-539-1776 to schedule your appointment, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Yeehaw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-9789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Are you looking for a treat that will knock it out of the park at the next watch party? Just like your favorite baseball team, Crumble brings the best lineup week to week with an expanded roster that includes key lime pie, strawberry cake, or my personal favorite, Monster featuring M&M candies. Let Crumble treat you to the best cookies in the game. Download the Crumble app and start earning rewards. You can even vote monthly on what flavors you would like to see at any store of your choice. Warmer weather is here, so get to the ballpark, but don't miss the cookies.
On Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app. You can also call and text us. Join the conversation today. 865-966-3435 is the way to do so. 865-966-3435 is the way to get involved. Alex Sarkis, we didn't hear from you at the top because we were jumping right into Jackson Herrington here from the Tennessee golf side of things. But new intern here this fall on Tuesdays and Thursdays, fresh off a summer of Pirates baseball. So I imagine this is a welcome change for Alex Sarkis here. But Alex, how are you doing, sir? And tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and not just the Pirates background, but UT Daily Beacon guy. So you got another alum right here across the glass in Ryan Shumpert. But what can the good folks learn from Alex Sarkis here?
Yeah, so I am the assistant sports editor at the Daily Beacon. This will be my first year there, which I'm really excited for. I'm from Pittsburgh, if you haven't realized from Chase's comments about the Pirates already. But yeah, this will be my first year covering the football team. I spent last year covering basketball, did baseball, so just been kind of ramping up here these last few days. It's been a little stressful.
Yeah,
we're getting into the groove and starting out here today, really excited. And yeah, it's going to be a big year. I'm pumped.
Yeah. Well, how did you find Tennessee from Pittsburgh? I'm always curious when the out-of-staters, how you found Tennessee.
That's like the number one question I get. But one day we were thinking about places to apply. And my dad was like, what about Tennessee? And I was like, sounds good to me. So we came down and we visited that summer. Loved campus, super nice. And then we came to the Florida game in 2022. Just to check out how game day was in the SEC.
Yeah.
I grew up in a West Virginia fan in Big 12 country. So
okay,
well, not really Big 12 country because West Virginia is kind of an outlier in that conference. But yeah, love that. The game day, obviously that Florida game was crazy, and then I knew this was the place. So yeah, that's the story.
Well, as a West Virginia guy living in Pittsburgh, you got some 3 weeks earlier, some good motivation to like Tennessee. The Vols beat Pittsburgh
right.
and got a little revenge for a heartbreaker to Mountaineers had the week before.
Exactly right. Yeah, we
correct.
avenged the Pitt 6.
That's right.
Which happened the week before, which I was at that game too. That was a rough one. But yeah, that was I do wish Tennessee and Pitt kept that series going because that would be a fun one for me considering my dislike for Pitt.
So is that a common one? I mean, obviously with the backyard brawl there, but is there a lot? Is it mostly Pitt fans, Penn State fans, or West Virginia fans? Because it's really close.
You know what's interesting? I think Pitt and Penn State, it's more Pitt and Penn State people in Pittsburgh, but there's a good amount of West Virginia people there.
Okay.
I mean, both my parents went there, really my whole family. So I'd say majority Pitt, Penn State, but West Virginia people,
okay,
make their way in. So
That's what, like 2 hours or so from Morgantown?
Yeah,
Pittsburgh?
it's about 2 hours. Yeah, we me and my buddy from high school would always just go run a Tuesday night basketball game after class. So yeah,
Pennsylvania is one of those places like I'm just not a geography guy, and when you do the math, and we're like Philadelphia is right by New Jersey, so there's a lot of crossover between Philadelphia fans and New Jersey people, and then you have like Pittsburgh, which is really close to West Virginia, and then you have like in West Texas, like Lubbock. It's hard for me to remember that Texas Tech is in West Texas. Did you know it's only like an hour and a half to Hobbs, New Mexico from Texas Tech University? So Texas Tech and New Mexico are kind of rivals. Like it's just geography to me. It blows me away. Like it just blows me away.
You are the Charlie Kelly and Always Sunny at the Cliff of being like, do you guys know Pittsburgh's in Pennsylvania? You have 2 cities in 1 state.
Oh my God, that's a great episode. Are you an Always Sunny guy, Alex?
No.
Oh,
I dislike everything about Philly as well.
Oh, so it's just like not even the show. You're like, I'm out.
No, I'm not a big TV show guy though. I'm
okay.
All I watch is sports. It's kind of.
Who else is not a TV show? I mean, Shump, you're kind of in that conversation. I mean, you and I, we have Curb and Seinfeld. Guy. Yeah, but you don't do the serious stuff. You're not really diving into Mayor of Easttown or anything on HBO Max. No, The Wire.
No, I did do Severance.
Okay.
So occasionally, but mostly just casual sitcoms to have on while I'm working on something else.
There you go.
Or Colin Cowherd's annoying me.
Well, hey, you never know what day of the week that might be. Brett Hollander, also here, producer of Under Review, also here on Tuesdays and Thursdays for the next 2 weeks. Brett, are you a Knoxville OG?
Yeah, I went to Bearden.
Okay,
I'm a Bearden grad, so yeah.
There you go.
Been here quite a while.
Well,
yeah.
You excited about the new season, Coach Taylor over there? Do you still get back for
not a whole lot. My daughter actually goes to Farragut, so I'm having to focus a little. She plays soccer over there, so
yeah.
I'm kind of having to balance it a little bit more than I've had to previously. So I still follow a lot of Bearden stuff though. So excited to see what the Bulldogs got. They got a big one on Saturday against Russ over here.
Yeah.
So we beat them last year, I believe. So yeah, should be fun. Should be fun. High school football's here too. So it's always a good time as well.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of football being here as a whole, we've got Josh Heupel, who spoke to the media today. The most interesting nugget, I guess, from where we want to start, Ryan Shumpert, is him talking about the receivers that are all what was his terminology so we get this right? What did he say? They're all practicing?
They're all out there.
All out there, which I don't know what that means, but it seems positive.
As ambiguous as possible.
But I mean, that's a positive, right? They're all out there, which has not been the case all fall camp, right?
Yeah. Again, I mean, look, Josh Heupel out there, to me, I wouldn't rule out there being out there standing on the sideline, working off to the side, not practicing with the team. I think that's possible. I think the implication was that Chris Brazel and Mike Matthews were full go. Braylon Staley, the way he phrased that, I was a little less sure on. But no, it's a good thing. And, I said on our RTI podcast, I think that's one of the big reasons why it made a lot of sense to go ahead and name Aguilar the starter. Like you have a brand new quarterback. You have mostly brand new receivers who have not been fully healthy. If those guys are going to be out on the practice field this week full go, there's no point in giving them reps with anybody other than who you think is going to be your starting quarterback.
Yeah, and here's what he said in regards to when he was asked why he ended up picking Joey Aguilar over Jake Merklinger and George McIntyre to start the season against Syracuse. He said, quote, "First of all, that entire room really competed at a high level. They competed the right way, too. They pushed each other in a positive way in the meeting room, out in the practice field. I think our team has great confidence in all those guys. Joey, through the course of training camp, each and every day, continued to grow and take steps and understand what we're doing. And comfort level, played well in the scrimmages, had good command, and that ultimately led to the decision we made." It sounds like the scrimmages played a big part in this, too. Is like, because Joey, like you were there for a lot of those routes on air, Ryan Shumpert, and you saw, I mean, it was just an up and down camp, right, for Joey Aguilar, for really all the quarterbacks by and large. So it didn't seem like the narrative was like Joey's pulling away. It was just one of those where Joey, we heard in scrimmage number 2, was sharp, and that 24-year-oldness came out, where it's just, you put him on the football field. Yes, it's still going to take time for him to acclimate to Heupel's scheme with only 90-something days in the system, but it's just once it's 11 on 11, and once the bullets are flying, it probably looked a lot like to Heupel and the staff where Joey Aguilar is going to be able to handle these bullets, even if he's not 100% on the offense.
For sure. And I think one of the big things Heupel said last week after the second scrimmage was he was talking about the command improving for Aguilar in the offense. And I think like that was the big thing. We know that Merklinger was pretty accurate on some of the underneath stuff, pretty solid throwing it short on routes on air, but it was a question with him throwing it down the field. If, it feels like McIntyre, probably just natural arm talent, has the best than Aguilar, than Merklinger. So once, and he, as you said, he has the experience. So once they felt comfortable enough checking the box of throwing the ball or having command of the offense that, it felt like Aguilar was going to have more boxes checked than anybody else in that room. And that was just kind of the big one. That was where he was starting from behind the other quarterbacks. And I'm sure it's not perfect. I'm sure it's not as far along as Josh Heupel would like for his quarterback to be, but it also sounds like Aguilar's done about as much as they could realistically expect from him to be ready at this point.
Yeah, and he did confirm what we had heard this week on David Hobbs, Ryan Shumpert. He said in regards to his injury, and we'll see when we get David Hobbs back in the interior rotation, but you and I were talking about on the pod last night of Ethan Nutley and Isaiah Campbell, next man up, where you have guys ahead of them that are older and should theoretically make that jump along with David Hobbs was Nathan Robinson, year 3 guy, and Josh Shell, who comes in from FCS. And it's a big jump up. And then obviously the JUCO transfer, Jamal Wallace, in his second year in the program. We'll see if he's able to stay healthy and carve out a role. But if not, it's Ethan Nutley and Isaiah Campbell seem like the biggest roles getting expanded here in the interior going forward. He said, quote, "Those guys have done a really good job. You look at where they were in January when they got here, the player that they were in spring ball, the growth of what they are doing here in training camp. Ethan Nutley, explosive, playing twitch at the line of scrimmage, doing a good job at the point of attack. Isaiah Campbell, wide hip, but strong, explosive power. But those guys continue to grow in a really good way." So they're excited about the interior guys. And I mean, you should have been excited about David Hobbs, because David Hobbs, I think, had that Omar Norman-Lott potential bump here on passing downs, getting after the quarterback in the interior. I think that would have been extremely helpful to have early on, especially against Georgia. We'll see if he's in, because we're not going to get a full-on understanding on when David Hobbs is going to be back for Tennessee this year. But if he's not there for Georgia, that's a big loss in the interior, I think, just because of the uncertainty. And you and I have talked about this, Ryan, but it is interesting that Rodney Garner, I'm not in the business of doubting Rodney Garner and Coach Chop, but I do think they are sneaky thin in terms of just this being kind of a gap year in terms of just the high upside, just scary defensive line that I think Tennessee's going to have in 26 and 27. Like Eason and Moy, especially Moy now, I think there's more pressure on him to show he can be a good pass rusher, because Eason's not that guy. Eason's great first, second down guy. He's a great leader. Love Bryson Eason. He's not going to be a pass rush guy, I don't think, at this point in his career. I think he is who he is. Jackson Moy, I think, is the one where, hey, man, now David Hobbs has gone behind you for a little bit. Like Jackson Moy, I hope, is the guy who steps up and flashes in the pass rush setting, because that would be a huge win for Tennessee early on.
For sure it would be. And, to what I almost wonder, and look, Tennessee's done this a little bit before. When they get the pass rushing downs, does Tyree West, does Dominic Bailey, one of those guys slide inside? I almost wonder, I almost feel like there may be an injury away from having to play Dominic Bailey defensive tackle just to begin with. I mean, he's a big, strong side defensive end. I think he could handle it. It probably wouldn't be the thing that they want to happen the most, but I think from a pass rush standpoint, that'll be worthwhile to watch which one of those guys kind of grabs that interior spot, because, I imagine it'll be Josh Josephs on one end and either Jordan Ross or Caleb Herring across from him on the other. So I will say, again, Josh Heupel doesn't say a ton of super interesting things, but I thought, and he was friend of the program, Eric Kane, kind of led him in that direction, but for him to talk about those two freshmen at defensive tackle when asked about David Hobbs being out, I thought that was telling. And I don't know if that's the best sign in the long term, in the short term, but it's certainly a really good sign for what Tennessee could have in the interior in the long term.
Yeah, and before we go to break, we'll mention what he said about Boo Carter, because I know a lot of folks are curious what Josh Heupel said about Tennessee's star, both figuratively and literally, for Tennessee this fall. He said, quote, "Boo has continued to grow on the things that we're asking him to do, to be a great teammate inside of the building every single day. Know the charge for him, but for all of us, is to continue to do that. And Boo has continued to grow in what he's doing on the field. So I'm excited and pleased with a lot of things that we see from him." So again, very ambiguous there. I don't really know what to make of that in terms of Boo. You got 2 weeks to get clearance and see whether or not he is going to be starting at star. Is he just going to be on special teams, punt return duties? Like, it's still a huge question mark as to what Boo's status is going to be, but it's a sneaky important one, because I don't know if McMurray is going to be ready to play 50-plus snaps at star without really a clear backup behind him. You want that opportunity where you can maybe mix and match Boo and McMurray back there, and I
think McMurray can handle it.
I mean, that's just a lot of snaps and just not a lot of room for error at injury or anything like that.
Yeah, no, I agree with the injury aspect of it, and you would certainly rather have more options, but Jalen McMurray has to go out there the first month of the season and play 50, 60 defensive snaps a game. Like, it's maybe not the most ideal situation, but I don't think it's going to be a major problem either.
Absolutely. When we come back, we'll talk about Savion Hyder choosing the Michigan Wolverines 5-star running back, number 1 running back in the 2026 class, and what we make of this development for Tennessee, what's on the radar for Tennessee's 2026 class as it wraps up here in the next couple months. So stick with us. Ryan Shumpert of Rocky Top Insider in studio with us on a Tuesday right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app.
Check out our new and improved website at fanrunradio.com.
Hungry for some mouth-watering barbecue? Then take the quick drive up I-75 to Rickard Ridge for some of the best barbecue you'll ever have. Fall off the bone, Memphis-style baby back ribs, slow-smoked chicken thighs, and fresh hand-cut steaks. Rickard Ridge has something for everyone. Located in Cove Lake State Park with a spectacular view of the Cumberland Mountains, Rickard Ridge. It's more than just dinner, it's a destination. Check out their full menu and catering options online at rickardridgebbq.com.
Hello, is Tina there?
Who's this?
Yeah, this is Vince from the hit reality show Wives Don't Tell. Tina applied for our show to confess that her husband won't go to the doctor to get his erectile dysfunction checked. She said she's ready for a guy that can bring the heat.
All right, what the is going on? You know you're talking to her husband right now? Tina!
Well, she wrote the application that her man's performance is questionable. She's basically married to a coffee table. She also said, we live within driving distance to Men's Pro Knoxville, but he's too scared to get a blood test.
Oh my, she is done. She is so done.
Got you, Mike. It's Nephew Tommy. Ain't no reality show. It's a prank. Men's Pro Knoxville is the real deal, fellas. Local experts, test results in minutes. Call 865-544-8220 or hit menspronknoxville.com before your lady books a new co-star. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
Hey Knoxville! Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
In a world filled with deadlines and screens, sometimes we forget the simple joys of life, days filled with special moments. At Inward Half, we understand the essence of these moments. Feel the difference between our breathable fabrics and flexible apparel as you disconnect from the hustle and bustle and reconnect with what truly matters. Inward Half, simple luxury for on and off the course.
The best athletes don't just play the game, they change it. When it comes to investing, Gainbridge is doing the same. Their online platform does things differently because it's designed to put you in charge of growing your own savings. It's intuitive, it's easy, and best of all, it's on your terms. No wonder Gainbridge has earned the trust of 40% repeat customers. It's a better way to invest because it's investing your way. Get started today at Gainbridge.io.
Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app. You can call, text us, 865-966-3435 is the way to join the show today. 865-966-3435 is the way to be a part of today's show. Ryan Shumpert of Rocky Top Insider in studio with us here on a Tuesday. Alex Sarkis, Brett Hollander on the ones and twos as well. Roundtable discussion here. Savion Hyder. He has committed to the Michigan Wolverines. I think Desmond Howard was in attendance for this, if I saw that correctly. Yeah, so it was just kind of, it seems like the worst kept secret that this was trending towards Michigan, but he kept it close to the vest for a full year. It was down to Tennessee, and you're going to win and lose some of these big time battles, but it hurts. I understand if you're a Vol fan today, hoping to get a number 1 overall running back. Tennessee has not had a guy like that in their class in a while. That Tennessee is, you were RBU at one point, with the Jamal Lewises, the Travis Henrys, the Aaron Fosters,
Jalen Hurd, right?
Jalen Hurd. It's Alvin Kamara, but different. Travis Stevens, Cedric Houston.
They're fun.
Montario Hardesty. Like you've been there. But I will say, it is one of those deals where, if you even look to next year, Brett, like you have DeJuan Morris, who I think is probably going to play. If anyone gets banged up this year, I think DeJuan Morris is going to get some run. He's probably going to be your kickoff return guy. Super talented kid coming out of Oakland. And the 3-back system, like Tennessee has averaged 5 yards per carry all 4 years under Heupel. Yeah, it would have been cool to get a 5-star running back, a plug-and-play guy. But Peyton Lewis, you got another year at least. You've got Deshaun Bishop another year, maybe 2, with just his future and like where he looks like as an NFL back. He might give you 4, especially as a local kid. I think there's a chance that you get 4 years of Deshaun Bishop in the mix. Star Thomas is obviously gone, but you can get somebody else. And Justin Baker, we'll see what he continues to evolve. The Buford kid, this cycle is a true freshman. So you can pivot. Tennessee pivoted last cycle at this time where DeJuan Morris was committed to USC, I think on August 19th, 2024. Yep. So they can get back in on some of these guys. There's still some in-state prospects maybe they circle back on, but you couldn't circle back until you got a for sure answer on Savion Hyder. And running back is just not one of those spots that I'm ever going to really panic in the Heupel era. They kind of look at it the same as the safety position, where they just the 3 and 4 stars, and then they target a couple 4 stars, but they make do. Like we were talking yesterday, Ryan, Will Brooks, you can make the case, is the best safety in the Tim Banks era, and he was a walk-on. So it's just they have made it work with that not being like the KJ Boldens, the Malachi Starks from Georgia of the world in the back end. They made it work. And that doesn't mean they haven't tried, like the Shady Hayward last cycle, who was a late flip to Florida, and he was a 4-star, big-time top 100 player. And then Craig Tutt, obviously picking Ole Miss over Tennessee this cycle, teammate of Joel Wyatt, who's also committed. But it's easy to forget that you won this battle with Braden Rouse, 4-star top 100 linebacker, where he went dark. And it felt
Sleazy Moa, same way.
Sleazy Moa. And you won 2 of these last 3. You're not going to win all of these. And especially with the Savion Hyders of the world. I mean, to be in that final 2, I said it felt kind of like David Sanders for a long time, how this was the Ohio State-Tennessee battle till the very end. But again, if I have to choose between winning out for the number 1 offensive tackle for 3 years versus the number 1 running back for 3 years, give me the offensive tackle every time. This is still a trench sport. And if Tennessee is able to load up in the trenches, Brett, I value that more. And we'll see where Tristan Keys goes now with Hyder off the board. But it's kind of a bummer, but I keep it moving. Hyder would have been excess to me almost.
I was pretty devastated by this one. The strength of your team, I think so. That was the 5-star I wanted. I think the strength of your football team is running the football. Okay. And if you tell me you can put the ball in the hands of a guy like Hyder every single play if you wanted to, I think that's huge. Yeah, you get the stable running backs is great and all, but we saw what a Dylan Sampson did, 22 touchdowns, 1,500 yards, carrying the load. And I think this guy had the potential to just be a complete game changer for us. And the unknown of the quarterback play, we got Faison Brandon coming in, things like that. Like, that's an unknown with how quarterback can get the ball to Keys, as great as he is. I know the center's going to snap the ball to the quarterback, and I know he just got to turn left or right and hand it to a guy like Hyder. And that excited me. I think in the past game, I think he could have done wonders. And there's a reason you're going after him. There's a reason you're willing to fork out money, because you know that you possibly, could have changed a lot. And these are the type of players you need to beat the Georgias, the Alabamas, the Floridas on your schedule, and to get through a college football playoff.
Yeah, I think, look, I wouldn't quite go as far as Chase said, like excess. It would have been a really big get, and it's a guy they've invested a lot of time in. And I see your point about it's just easier to get a running back and lean on him. I almost look at the NFL model of like Tennessee's quarterback play and passing game has been so shaky. I would just sign up for as many weapons that can get open, get up down the field, and make big plays. Like, to me, they've been further off from getting to that as opposed to what I think that at any point they've been as the worst their running game has been compared to the best that it's been. Like, that has not been a huge gap as opposed to the best that their passing game has been with the worst that their passing game has been under Heupel. So, I think they'll be fine. I almost, I see what you're saying, Chase, with the safety comparison. I don't even necessarily like that comparison because I think they've just been fine at safety. Whereas at running back, they've been going after these. It's been a lot of lower guys, 3 stars, and they've been really good. Dylan Sampson was really good. Jalen Wright was really good. I think they have a chance to be, and Peyton Lewis was 4 stars, so he's a higher recruit than any of them been, but a chance to be really good there again this season.
What do you think, Alex?
I agree with your point, Chase, how the running back by committee kind of approach kind of doesn't make this as big as a loss as you would think. I mean, obviously, you would like to hand the ball to a guy like that, 15 to 20 times a game. But I think in terms of Tennessee, how they operate the running game, I think that it's not as big as a loss as you would think. And if they get the quarterback play, now who knows what that's going to be with Faison, but if you get the quarterback play that can kind of not make you as one-dimensional as you were last year, then, I think that might even things out a little bit. But who knows?
I mean, it's hard to win these battles. And you look at Georgia. Georgia's not pumping out 5-star running backs like they used to, the Nick Chubbs and Todd Gurley's of the world. They're thin there. You look at it again, they had to go get Josh McCray out of Illinois from the portal in the spring window. They lost Branson Robinson, who ended up transferring to Georgia State. He was a big-time kid at the time, and he goes down a level. You got Bo Walker, but he's a 4-star kid. And you look at Chauncey Bowens, you look at that room, and you're like, look at Alabama, the Derrick Henrys of the world. Those kind of guys, like the running back position has evolved so much that the Travion Hendersons, the Katron Allens, the Savion Hiders, those are unicorn backs. And if we're operating under some kind of salary cap, and we're assuming that Tennessee has a budget for all these different positions and they like a total cap, like here's where we want to be at. To me, I would rather put that money that would have gone towards a top end number 1 overall back to the trenches. Like I want that money to go too, because this is where my attention now moves. It's not really Darius Gray, who's still on the board technically, but it seems like that's a South Carolina LSU battle down the stretch. And again, I'm not going big money for a guard, like a guy who cannot start at tackle. Like if you tell me he's a tackle who could be a guard, okay, we'll talk. Where it's like there's some versatility there. Like Shamu Marov came in as a tackle, move him into guard. Gage Genther started as a tackle, moved in as guard. They can play both sides. Jesse Perry looks like he can play both. There's real value there. However, Hezekiah Harris, Tristan Givens, those are the 2 where they're committed to Auburn and Texas A&M right now, respectively. 2 guys Coach Chop has been on in a big way. I don't really know what we're going to get out of Caleb Herring this year. Jordan Ross, big year for him, year 2, 5-star. But there's not really a big-time Leo in this class, guys. And I think Zach Groves seems like he's going to be a strong side defensive end when you look at his size. Joel Wyatt is going to try safety, so he would have been your quote-unquote big Leo addition here if that's where he wanted to play right out of the gate. But you can't pencil him in there, and I think he's playing corner and wide receiver for Oakland this fall. So seems very unlikely that he makes that pivot to Leo for the Vols here. You got to get one. You got to keep stacking Leos because you saw in big games last year, Georgia, they could not get home with 4. It was one of those deals where Carson Beck dropped back to pass 40 times, didn't get knocked down once. You look at Ohio State, no real pass rush there as well. Arkansas, Taylor Green and company, they had time to throw and slice and dice Tennessee in a way that Matt Corral did in 21. Remember where it's just, and Graham Mertz did 2 years ago as well. So there's those kind of games that are extremely frustrating where Tennessee just can't get off the field. Part of it's like they're not getting home. And you just need to have as many elite Leos. I want to be Leo U. I would much rather be Leo U than running back U. I think running back U is the least amount of value across all the position groups outside of safety. So I'm okay with it if you can still flip one of these guys and you can land keys, because that's the other part. Is like I've seen proof of concept with 3- and 4-star running backs under Darrell Sims, under Jerry Mack, and under Josh Heupel. I have not seen proof of concept of 4- and 5-star wide receivers that Heupel staff has identified at Tennessee yet. Doesn't mean it's not going to change this year with Mike and Braylon and company, but there's still no proof of concept. And number 1 overall wide receiver in Tristan Keys might be a proof of concept thing where it's just he's so good that I don't even have to worry about like how he's going to fit, how it's going to work, because there were only 3 5-star wide receivers in the last cycle. Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams.
We're not doing this thing again.
Ryan Williams, Cam Coleman. All had fantastic plug-and-play true freshman seasons.
This is my favorite thing Chase does when he just takes one very, very small sample size and says, this is how it is every
best
year.
Receivers in the country.
Done.
Yeah.
Done. And it's just that's how it is. Tristan Keys will be a good player if Tristan Keys winds up in orange and white. I don't know with some of these other 4- and 5-star guys who are outside of that range. Like, we'll see. Sleacy Moa, I'm excited about. We'll see.
I do think the thing that's tough with, you're talking about the money aspect of it. Like, we don't know. Savion Hyder's offer could be significantly lower than what the offer is for Keys, for what it is for Hezekiah Harris. Like, we just don't know. I'm sure they value that position less because generally that's how teams value that position. And we know that they value Hyder a lot for a player at that position, but we don't really know what that financially looks like compared to, those other spots and a lot of those other guys you're talking about.
Do you know what's interesting?
And the money's obviously there. You wouldn't still be in on all of these 5-stars. There's got to be money. You got to be talking to all these guys about money, when you're recruiting them. So, and with this Adidas thing coming in, what is that looking like? And all that. Are they able to go to the table and offer more? Did they do that with Hyder? I'm sure they did to stay in the final 2. But
yeah,
I mean, I don't know. It's just fun to be in these battles. It sucks now. I almost rather not be in them and finish second. Though.
Oh, Brett.
It's brutal, man.
Brett.
It's brutal. I was just staring. I was like, Bob, I was trying to get me to pay attention. I was watching YouTube, and Bob's watching YouTube. We're all in on it. It's fun to be like that again.
You're demoralized.
I am. The guy's really, really good.
Peyton Lewis was described as a Greek god this past week.
Okay. I also saw him got hurt last year.
I mean,
your Greek god, Deshaun Bishop got hurt last year.
Well, he's gotten hurt every year. So
yeah. So you're putting your eggs in a fragile basket right now. It seems like
the sky is falling for Brett. You're demoralized.
I'm just glad the receiver's back.
I have to say, credit to Savion Hyder.
Yeah,
I've never seen a guy get a mic at his commitment and commit faster. It was going through the very long, drawn-out process of everybody talking, and it gives to Hyder. I'm like, all right, here comes the 3-minute spill.
Yeah.
They handed him that mic, and he's like, I'm going to Michigan. I was like, oh, nice.
Falls off.
Yeah, the hat fell off.
Didn't the stream just immediately end, too, where they just were like, all right, that's it?
I'm not sure. I X'd out of it pretty quickly after he said he was going to
Michigan. Out. Have a good one. Thank you all for coming. Drive safe. But I respect it, man, because that's kind of speaks to who he was this whole process, where he doesn't talk. He doesn't really do. He's just like, hey, I'm going to Michigan. I'll see y'all in a couple of years. All right.
He hasn't signed yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're still holding out hope, man.
I'm just saying he hasn't signed yet. I don't know. And I worry about Keys. Keys could commit to us, but he seems so flip-floppy.
Yeah.
I feel like A&M's going to be. It's just never going to end with this guy
until
signing day.
That's the nature of receivers. I feel like that's just part of the deal.
Great receivers.
Yeah, great. Part of the reason I know Tristan Keys is going to be great is how Tristan Keys operates here, where the flipping and just how involved he is in the recruiting and how much he loves being recruited. Clearly, that is.
How's his family? That's what I worry about too. Being a diva receiver, you have to have parents that are probably a little similar, right?
I want diva receivers because generally speaking, diva receivers in their prime are fantastic.
Well, it's as a Tennessee Titans fan, there's nothing worse than people trying to spin not re-signing AJ Brown and trading him because he's a diva.
Yeah,
it's so we're 75% of great receivers, and we've never had good ones. So that's why you don't know that apparently.
I know. Yeah, fair sure about diva receivers in Pittsburgh.
There you go.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a diva receiver, you.
Oh my god. Yeah, it is.
You won titles with diva receivers.
Yeah,
that's true.
I don't know the whole George Pickens thing this past year, but that's a story.
Pittsburgh wasn't quite getting post Antonio Brown the production level you would want for your diva receivers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They weren't.
It's a balancing act.
Yeah, it's tough. They're going to be elite for their prime, but are you willing to deal with all the theatrics? I don't know.
I'm dealing with it. It's just one of those. Tristan Keys, come on down. What? Is it going to be crazy and everything? We just kind of don't know what your future is month to month. Don't care. Play football for my team. I know you're going to be good. It's going to be fun.
Do you have confidence in this group getting him in? You didn't get a transfer portal guy when you desperately need him. Maybe you're just focused strolling on this and rolling with these all incoming freshmen you got playing this year.
Well, I think no matter what, they need a big time transfer receiver next cycle. They're just too young, and you're going to lose. Your loan. Chris Browse will have a hard time believing it's back for a third year. So at that point, you're all underclassmen. And you're
all in on Mike Matthews. You're all in on Tristan Keys. You're all in on all these guys. Do they really need, if these guys pan out the way you think, do they really need to go get a big name one?
What did Georgia do? Georgia went out and they were like, we're going to sign 5-star wide receiver Tylan Taylor. We led the country in drops last year. We're going to go and add 4 blue chip receivers, true freshmen. They added 4. They also paid Zachariah Branch and Noah Thomas to come in. And some of those young guys are going to play. Some it's going to be Colby Young. Some of it because they brought him back for another year. And so you have to have a mix. And I don't love the idea where you're just putting all your eggs in the young guy baskets. It's just a couple can pop, but expecting you. The only team that has gotten away with that has been Ohio State. Ohio State's the only one who can just plug and play 3 new blue chip receivers and just be totally fine. And you just know all 3 are going to be NFL players. That's it. No one else does that. You look at Alabama this year, 2 transfer starters around Ryan Williams. Clemson, I guess, is the closest comp right now, where Clemson is going to start 3 blue chip receivers with Wesco, Moore, and was it Williams? Yeah, those are all in-house guys, but that's a rarity. And if If you look around the top tier teams in college football, that's not how it works. I mean, Penn State, who might win the title this year, 3 new transfer receivers, and they've recruited 4-star receivers as well, and didn't work out next to Drew Aller. So I am a big believer in Mike, love Braylon and company, but I do not believe that it would be back-to-back wide receiver malfeasance if they do not add a upperclassman plug-and-play wide receiver to help this room. Like, just as a competent vet who can help, and you know he can be a plug-and-play and take some of the pressure off these young guys. Just one.
Yeah, I mean, I generally agree. I'm just looking at it from your perspective of if Mike Matthews does break out, that's one of your guys probably on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
If they do get Tristan Keys, you're telling me he's plug and play day
starter,
one.
Yeah, he started on the other side.
So, I guess you're going to spend big money to unhouse Braylon Staley, essentially, make it, and he's probably leaving if you do that. So,
well, that he might not have had a great year, and Braylon Staley has to stay healthy. I mean, we don't even know where he's at going into the Syracuse game. Like, Braylon Staley is a huge wild card right now. If I'm buying more stock in one of these two breaking out this year, it's Mike over Braylon, and Mike might need to play slot because of where they're at in numbers. So if Mike takes over as a star in slot, like we see him there in the Syracuse game, I mean, his frame, he's 6 foot. Like, there's a case he should be a slot guy anyway. So if he breaks out there, I mean, does Travis Smith or Rodarius run with it on the opposite side and you feel better there? But I don't know. I think slot is the one if I had to look and I had to forecast where Tennessee might go in the portal next.
Just play Brame there.
Brame's got to be a tight end, man. Right? Brame, I want.
It just sounds like you just need to get him on the field the way he's been playing in the scrimmages.
He's going to play. It seems like Deshaun Brame's going to play. I'm excited about Deshaun Brame. Like, they're just going to, we're going to get some 13 personnel this year, maybe.
5 tight end wide.
Yes. See if you can stop us.
Dorsalaire out there too.
Playing fullback.
Let's go 14 personnel.
I love it. When we come back, we'll kick off hour number 2, talking about 3 things to look out for here in the opener against Syracuse. We'll go around the room here as we continue on this Tuesday edition of The Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app.
Follow us on Twitter or X or whatever the they're calling it these days at Fox Sports Knox. Fox Sports Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the triple wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw premium vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw premium vodka. Please drink responsibly. Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Yo, 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 what is up with it, homies? Talk sports. That's the show you want. It's the longest running sports radio morning show in town. You want your radio shows to be fun, and that's what Talk Sports is. Fun, fun, fun. No weirdo callers. I think Tennessee gonna go 6-6 this year. No nerdy guests. Well, their receiver depth is a little bit thin. Just 2 of the most entertaining guys in town, and Bubba giving you what you need. Tune in 7 to 10 a.m. every weekday here on Fan Run Radio.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess, but isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
Yeehaw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Airlines have just reduced their prices even more. Book 30 days in advance and save big.
Want the absolute lowest prices on your airline tickets? Then call the Low Cost Airlines Travel Hotline right now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. The only way to access our low rates and save up to 70% is to call. Save hundreds on your vacation tickets by calling right now. You can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-631-1754. 800-631-1754. 800-631-1754. That's 800-631-1754.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
On radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app. You can join the stream, Fan Run Sports, on our YouTube channel, growing more and more each and every day. Make sure you jump in. If you want to watch the show, you can do so. Watch all of our shows, Talk Sports, Under Review, Chase, The Drive, coming up from 3 to 6 here, Russell Smith and Bear. and then overtime with William Pattison from 6 to 8 as well. So all streaming right here on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and all of that good stuff as we continue to grow our video component right here on the Chase and everywhere else here on FanRun Sports Radio and Fox Sports Knoxville. Ryan Shepard, roundtable discussion here as we kick off hour number 2 of RockyTopInsider.com. Bookmark it today and read all of the Ryans and Rick and Jack's great coverage over there on RockyTopInsider.com every day if you are not already. Ryan, 3 things to look out for in the opener against Syracuse for you. So I have 3, and I wanted to bounce these off you, and then we can. Do you have 3?
Not particularly, but I have one that I disagree with you on your list because I saw your list.
Okay. Then
I would say I very much agree with the first one.
Well, these are the things that you and I will be locked in on in terms of what this is going to look like here. Number 1, and I don't think a lot of fans are looking at this, and this is something we kind of touched on here with Heupel's comments on David Hobbs in the interior. I am very, very curious to see what the defensive line rotation looks like. I mean, obviously, Sunday morning, one of my first things I'm going to do is look at the snap count for the defensive line because I don't know how much Hobbs' injury wrecks what Rodney Gardner is going to do rotation-wise, but I think Hobbs was one of 3 guys he knew what he had. You know what I mean? Like, Hobbs was a guy that you knew was going to play significant snaps and someone that could be the game wrecker behind those 2 veteran leaders in Jackson Moy and Bryce Neeson. Both, like, I would say solid A guys, maybe B+ A guys in the interior, but still a step down from Norman Lott and company there from a year ago. But I do think David Hobbs has the potential to have that James Pierce like jump where Pierce did not start 2 years ago, and it was Roman Harrison who got a lot of those snaps, but Pierce made the most of his opportunity and still played a healthy amount across and was in key pass rush situations with Tyler Barron across from him, that sort of thing. That all worked. I am curious what this rotation is going to look like because I don't think we're going to have any idea where Josh Sell is on the pecking order right now, where Nathan Robinson is on the pecking order. How much does he play a true freshman like Ethan Nutley or Isaiah Kimball? Does he just say, hey, go out there? Like Syracuse, we think you're going to be able to handle some of their interior guys anyway. And if we're going to play you against Georgia because of injuries and whatnot, like you got to get some run here. And not only are you going to play a lot, I'm sure, against ETSU the following week, I am curious how much he exposes them early. So is that the one you disagree with, the rotation, or is it?
No, I completely agree with that one. Yeah, I think, look, I mean, defensive tackle is probably the most interesting because of what we've discussed, but almost on the reverse end at the edge spots, I think they're so deep there that I'm really curious of what it looks like, how many do they play. I think at the strong side spot, we know 1-2 is probably going to be Dominic Bailey, then Tyree West.
Yeah.
Who's 3 there? Is it Tyree Weathersby? Is one of the other younger guys. Is he more involved there? And how much are they going to play 3 deep at that spot? And then Leo, I think Caleb Herring and Jordan Ross, there's been a lot of talk about them. I'm curious to see what the order looks like their rotation. How many snaps a game does Josh Josephs play in the opener compared to those 2 guys? And then we touched on it a little bit earlier too when we were talking about the defensive tackle, that third down pass rush package. Who is out there on the opposite spot of Josh Josephs? I think is getting production from that spot, is one of the most important or most intriguing storylines for Tennessee this season, and I'm really not sure who it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, Brett, when you look at the strong side defensive end too, I think they might play 4. Like Marion Dye, flash, big-time number 1 player out of Indiana, big-time 4-star get this past cycle, certainly looks the part. You might go 4 deep. Tyree Weathersby, by all accounts, has looked the part, and he's healthy and ready to go. You have Tyree West, big senior year. He's one of your leaders. And Dominic Bailey, he's someone who slides inside, and you have West or Weathersby, strong side defensive end and key pass rush situations. Like, the rotation just super fascinates me this year because I just have so many different ways that Chop and Garner.
It's cool. And I think whether you're a freshman or not, I think you're going to get the opportunity to play with Garner. I don't think he has a problem as long as you're working hard and things like that. You see ball, get ball, go after the quarterback. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's too terribly difficult, to just, trial by fire, I mean, that's the one way you're going to learn how to play this game at this level. So I'm all for playing as many guys as you can on D line, just staying as fresh throughout the season as you can possibly be, prevent injuries, even things like that. So I trust in Gardner and Chop and whoever else. I mean, get those linebackers blitzing, things like that, just as much pressure you can cause on the defensive line. I'm all for it.
What about you, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Like, why not play the young guys early? I mean, you're going to have, you got a big stage week 1. It's Syracuse, but you're playing in a primetime slot on a big time network. Let's see what the young guys can do. The trial by fire approach is a good one, I think. And, you've kind of got 2 weeks to figure it out before Georgia. So I kind of agree.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see what it looks like, because I think it's going to be a wave. Last year, you saw the waves. Like Tennessee, kind of one of the most underrated parts about what they did. Like they're 15 deep on the defensive line. They're not going to be 15 deep this year. I think it's going to be similar, and I wonder how much they lean on the vets to kind of bridge this year to next year, because next year is when you have just the plethora of the 4- and 5-star blue chippers that are taking over, like Eason, Moy, Bailey, Josephs. They're all gone. And then you look behind them and you're like, that's a whole heck of a lot. Unproven to this point, but a whole heck of a lot.
More reason to play them.
More reason to play them. And you know who does it? Rodney Gardner and Coach Chop gives those guys opportunities.
What Ryan said, they might bump West or Dominic Bailey inside to create more pressure on those long third and longs and things like that. He saw Pierce moving inside some last year, just moving around, move Joseph's around. And
he moved around a bunch last year.
I think Joseph's as key as anything. We talk about D tackle and D line. Joseph's got to take that next step that you mentioned that Pierce took. You got to have an elite guy on the outside, and Joseph's, we've been talking about, he's got to be that top dog out there on getting to the quarterback.
Absolutely. Another one, tight end rotation and personnel, because we don't know where Braylon Staley is health wise. Heupel kind of danced around just where the wide receivers are today. Brazel has been banged up for most of fall camp. Braylon Staley banged up. Mike has probably been the healthiest of the 3 projected starters, but you don't know where he's going to start right away, because Boo Carter obviously does not look like a factor in the offense, at least right away. Mari Jefferson made some plays apparently in this scrimmage number 2. Maybe he is someone who we are doubting has a potential of being a starter right out of the gate for Tennessee because of just where things are at with Braylon. Do you really want to throw one of your 2 summer enrollees, Joakim Dodson, out into the fire as a slot guy getting real reps in his first FBS game? I have a hard time believing we see Dodson early on this year, but Travis Smith and Rodarius Jackson have both flashed. So I kind of wonder, do you try them in 3 wide in 11 personnel with those 3 out there? Or do you say, no, we're not going to throw, as much as we like Smith and Rodarius, we're going to save them for a little bit and not just have them go up against Fran Brown and the Syracuse defense right out of the gate. We're going to go super tight end heavy. Like, we're going to live in 12 personnel in this first game, and we'll try some stuff against ETSU. Like, I am very curious what that rotation looks like. And does Deshaun Brame, Ethan Davis, we're just expecting a breakout, right? And by all accounts, Ethan Davis has had he's had a solid summer, but the buzz has been Brame. And I just wonder, do we see Brame pass Davis in this rotation? Do we, if we, on Sunday...
Chase, you just said within 20 words of one another, we're all expecting a breakout from Ethan Davis.
Yes, but
does Deshaun Brame pass him?
Let me stop you right there. And there's a reason when I'm saying that, is everyone's just Ethan Davis is the one who stuck around, right? He's waited his turn, and by all accounts, he's become a leader, him and Miles Ketzelman. But if Deshaun Brame is who we think he is, where he's ahead of the game, he might have more snaps than Ethan Davis. And we're like, oh, maybe we should have pumped our brakes here a little bit.
On Ethan Davis?
Yeah.
Brame
might pass him.
Ethan Davis has, to me, some real Kyle Pitts feel to him. I want to buy in. He's talented.
Teasing you.
Tennessee needs him to be good. But
that felt like a personal shot. We can't.
No, I made this on the RTI podcast yesterday, so it can't be a personal shot.
Okay.
I'm exonerated from the personal shot at Chase. But no, to me, it just feels like, I guess to your point, Chase, it feels like one of Ethan Davis or Brame. I only really see one of those guys having a big role. I don't think you're going to have 2 tight ends that are not great blockers, that are more pass catchers, have big roles in this offense. And Ethan Davis is a logical choice. He's been there. You expect him to be more physical in the run game. But it feels like there's been a lot more positive buzz coming out of scrimmages of Brame making plays as opposed to Davis.
Yeah. Next one. Final one here. How much does UT blitz? Because that is something we did not see them having to do a whole lot last year. They were sending forward. Tim Banks was like, I believe in Dramad and Ricky and my back end, and we're going to be all right. We're going to send 4, and we're going to bet on that working. You're not going to be able to do that this year, I don't think. Josephs has not shown you he can get home by himself at Leo. You don't have that for sure answer on pass. Omar Norman Lott was your second best pass rusher. So, I think you lose your top 2 pass rushers from a season ago. You're going to have to blitz more. And I don't know if it's going to be as extreme where they didn't have any faith in their back end the first 2 years. So they were just Jeremy Banks, Aaron Beasley. They were sitting in the house very often. Those first couple of years, they were living and dying by the blitz. They're not going to be that extreme because I think the secondary is still going to be pretty good. But I think they're going to have to blitz more. So I'm curious to track in this game against Syracuse how much does Tim Banks showcase? Like, to me, we're going back to a little bit more of an aggressive style. We're sending 5 or 6 on key passing downs, and we're not going to bet that our 4 will be able to get home.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question from the standpoint of it being the first game.
Yeah.
And it being uncertain what Tennessee has in pass rusher. Like, I think there's it wouldn't surprise me. I won't speak for anyone else if by mid-October they're having to do that because no one's necessarily emerged. I think that, to your point, Chase, will be telling about how Tim Banks feels about not just Josh Josephs, but a Caleb Herring, a Jordan Ross, like how comfortable, how confident he is in those guys being able to create havoc, just the 4 of them.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how it all unfolds. You got something, Alex?
No, I was just thinking in terms of you're going to probably be without Jermon McCoy.
Yeah.
So that will definitely, I think, increase your blitz usage in the early weeks. So I think that's something to look out for too. I mean, definitely as the season gets going, and then when Jermon McCoy comes back, then that could change up blitz volume and stuff like that. So
yeah. What does Boo look like? With Boo not out there, are you comfortable on that? I don't know.
Boo's a blitz guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, McMurray's not that guy.
They also, I think, Chase, you might have been the one that was on this and had pointed out to me. Go look at Tennessee's linebackers' PFF blitz grades last year. They're terrible, horrible. None of them were very good at rushing the passer.
Yes.
Was one of those guys emerge? Like Jeremy Banks was good at rushing. That was probably the best thing he did.
Yeah.
From an inside linebacker spot. Spillman seems like a guy that could be pretty good there, but I don't think T-Lander's that. And Carter could obviously take a jump, but he wasn't that last year at least.
They weren't great at pass downs either. Though.
No.
They couldn't cover out of the backfield. They couldn't cover anybody. So I don't know what their strength is besides tackling, which is important. So I don't know how you handle the linebacker situation. Honestly, I think you just most games you're going to be able to get home against 4. It's against the bigger teams, Georgia's and Alabama's, where you probably have to. So the offensive lines are great. I don't think you're going to get home with 4 guys on those guys.
Well, it's a new start with Steve Ancelli for Syracuse. New system. He came in, another spring guy.
Receiver left in the portal into Penn State.
You got to hope your 4 can get.
No, I want to blitz. I want to I want to
Syracuse?
frazzle him early. I want a Jackson Arnold situation where he's overwhelmed and the bullets are flying. You're like, oh God, is that Jordan Ross? Oh, is that Joshua Dosis? What's coming at me? Because it's going to be a very different deal for Ancelli and company, where he's like, oh, I don't have the Notre Dame offensive line in front of me. This is not as fun. Not having a great time.
Yeah, I just think that's the thing with all this. It kind of goes both ways too.
Yeah.
We're like, he doesn't have the Notre Dame offensive line. Maybe you can get home with 4 guys and drop more guys in coverage, and it's not simple, easy, quick reads for him. He played a good bit. I think the 2023 Sun Bowl, I want to say he started. So it's not going to be his first start, but his first start as a full-time starter. Making things a little bit more complicated on him, taking away.
Are you interested in like the distribution and like running backs? Like,
yeah, that's the one I would have.
Like, just who's getting the carries. I mean, you just don't really care. Or, I don't know.
It's just not. I guess those 3 were the ones I'm more. It's not that I don't care, but those are the big 3 for me that I'm gonna be like just on my notepad, just jotting down and seeing what it looks like. I think running back, they're just gonna be fine. My gut is
line. Like, who's starting no line?
Well, it seems like we know that too, barring injuries. It seems like it's gonna be Pendleton at starter at center, Chess Perry at right guard, William Moy at left guard, left tackle Lance Hurd, right tackle Dave Sanders. Now, I will say I am curious if that holds up, because you have 2 young guys on that right hand side with Perry and Sanders. Like, does that actually hold up against the Georgias of the world? Like, are you really gonna be able to get away with that? Or you get welcome to SEC football. Welcome to big time college football. Like, good luck. Like, you can talk about Jesse Perry doing everything the right way all offseason. Still a redshirt freshman. And
that's true.
You're going to be asking a lot of him and David Sanders to be able to handle the Georgias, the Bamas of the world on the right hand side.
Is that where you put Pendleton out there?
I mean, that's what you thought was it was going to be Satterwhite at center and Pendleton at right guard.
Yeah.
But if Pendleton has to play center, I don't know. Part of me wonders if they end up flipping Moy to right guard, and then Sham Imarov, who seems like he's only a left guard, as a 4th-year guy, you put him at left. And that's how you saw it both, where a lot more veterans, and you have Moy to help out Sanders.
Syracuse.
To me, the one I would say I am going to be big on, you didn't have in the list, is just how many shots do they look to take down the field? How aggressive. Yeah. This is a game that Tennessee should be able to win easily by lining up, running, playing really conservative, playing good defense. They're better than Syracuse in the line of scrimmage. How aggressive do we see Josh Heupel be taking some risk? And look, Syracuse's coverage will dictate some of that too. But we saw it last year against Tennessee State, a game that Tennessee felt like they were a lot better at the line of scrimmage and they could play conservatively and win. they took all of like one shot deep down the field the entire game. And again, NC State dictated some of that too, but that's one I'll be really curious about.
When we come back, we'll talk some MLB expansion and then some Vols backcourt questions in terms of this year and last year with Rocky Top Insider Ryan Shumpert right here on the Chase Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app.
For the fans, by the fans, this is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Hello, is Tina there?
Who's this?
Yeah, this is Vince from the hit reality show Wives Don't Tell. Tina applied for our show to confess that her husband won't go to the doctor to get his erectile dysfunction checked. She said she's ready for a guy that can bring the heat.
All right, what the hell is going on? You know you're talking to her husband right now? Tina!
Well, she wrote the application that her man's performance is questionable. She's basically married to a coffee table. She also said, we live within driving distance to Men's Pro Knoxville, but he's too scared to get a blood test.
Oh my, she is done. She is so done.
Gotcha, Mike. It's nephew Tommy. Ain't no reality show. It's a prank. Men's Pro Knoxville is the real deal, fellas. Local experts, test results in minutes. Call 865-544-8220 or hit men'sproKnoxville.com before your lady books a new co-star. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
If you're looking for a sports talk show that gets to the bottom of the biggest sports topics, then check out Under Review on Fan Run Radio. I'm Bob Baskerville, and every day, Sam Beard and I cover the latest news on the Vols. We also widen our view to cover what's hot in the SEC. From local and national media pros to the coaches and players we all root for, we have the best guests and experts anywhere. So tune in weekdays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on AM 1340, FM 105.7, or stream live on our free app. It's Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
Hey, folks, if you're in need of a lawyer, you need to call my friend Jerry Givens. I've known Jerry since high school and can personally vouch for him. He's East Tennessee through and through. And if you're going through a divorce, bankruptcy, or a DUI case, you'll need someone you can trust on your side to help you navigate the local legal system. You can trust Jerry Givens. Call the law offices of Jerry Givens today at 865-801-9250 to schedule your free consultation. That's 801-9250.
Citizens National Bank. You want a bank that lets you bank when and where you want to. Your local branch, the grocery store, your computer, your phone, it's up to you. You want people who care about taking care of you and your money too. Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
It's the Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app. We are going to talk some Vols basketball here. Vols hoops, Ryan Shumpert. It's going to be a very, very different backcourt in 2025-2026. Clarence Masamba in the building. I think some folks saw the Tennessee basketball staff, Rick Barnes and company, like walking downtown together yesterday, I want to say. Did they go bowling? Sunday? Yeah.
I don't know if they went bowling, but that was on Sunday.
That was the report. Like, You just never know. You can't really hide out on Gay Street and everything. Someone's going to spy you, like especially Clarence Masamba and Dwayne Brown and company.
So she got a lot of 6'8", 6'9" basketball players walking around.
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit different. But it's good. Speaking of things that are going to be different here, I think the Vols backcourt, it's going to be really fascinating to see because Eitan Berg is going to keep playing. Like, he's a rotation guy overseas right now, and they're still alive. And I mean, we're not looking. I mean, it's August 19th.
They haven't even started yet.
Yeah. So I mean, September is when you're forecasting him to get in. But I mean, I kind of wonder the forecast of getting Berg in, but it's also like he's going to have a lot of mileage from this summer and how much he's playing.
I don't know how much he's going to be playing on this team, if I'm being honest with you. I think he's more of an in-the-bench guy on this Israeli national team.
Okay. Because that's something you wonder about. It's just, man, he's spending a lot of summer playing basketball, not really getting a break here, and then going straight into fall camp. But then again, you also look at it, it's like Tennessee's summer practice and everything else. They're going hard, and Rick Barnes is big into conditioning. So making sure his guys are at tip-top shape to play first, just play elite defense for Tennessee next year. But it's going to be different. No Zakai, no Jordan Gainey, no Jemai, and no Chaz Lanier. And yet, I still think there's a path that this backcourt as a whole we'll look at the end of the year will be better than what we saw last year. Do you lean that way, or do you think it's probably not going to happen, that it's not going to be a situation where you look back and that this year's backcourt was better than last year's?
Yeah, I think it's so unique. I think they're going to be better at the top, if I had to guess. I think you'll get more offensive production from Jacoby Gillespie and Nate Ament than any two players. Look, Jemai Meshack, there's just no one. Jemai Meshack and Zakai Ziegler, even though I think Jacoby Gillespie is a good defender, there's nobody that's going to be able to replace that defensively. And look, there's major questions for Tennessee's backcourt this season after two guys. There were four really solid guys Tennessee had last year. So I think it's kind of unique in your perspective, how you look at it, what you want. Do you want depth? Do you want two guys that are potential all-SEC first team, potential All-Americans? Like, if you lean more on that and two guys that can really score the basketball, I think you're probably going to say this year. So it's hard to say. I guess the thing I would say, if they are better, I think you got a stew going, because I think their front court is going to be a good bit better than it was a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, Brett, when you look at Jacoby, I feel like Tennessee fans are going to struggle all year with this, of just the feeling guilty about really enjoying Jacoby Gillespie playing point guard for their team, and just being also simultaneously grateful for the 4 Zakai years, but also being like, oh, Jacoby can be like a first team All-American. Like, he can push Braden Smith for this, where he's shooting 40% from deep, and the offense just has a higher ceiling potentially. Defensively, Gillespie is not gonna touch the guy, but offensively, is he good enough defensively that the upside is higher with Gillespie? And I'm not saying he's going to be Walter Clayton 2.0 at Tennessee next year, but he has that upside. Wow. Like, Jacoby Gillespie has. I'm just so excited about watching him play basketball. I love the Kennedy Chandler. I love Zakai Ziegler, and it's just
and I love Jacoby Gillespie too. The expectations you're putting on this kid are otherworldly.
Don't care.
You said last week. I'm sure y'all didn't listen to the show last week. He was saying first team All-American.
Yes.
With Braden Smith still in college basketball. Everyone.
Who cares? Like, there's an SEC bias here, absolutely. But Braden Smith, old news. Jacoby Gillespie, new news. Crab 5 in the building. And he doesn't have Rodney Rice stealing buckets from him this year. Stealing buckets. It's the Jacoby Gillespie show as they try to figure out who is going to be that starting two guard next to him. The sky is the limit for Jacoby. Like, he's going to be putting up shots, and he's going to be an aggressive shoot-first guy. I'm so excited about him in the half court alone, because you know what it has happened to Tennessee over the last couple years. They get stagnant because Zakai will dribble around. Zakai's looking to pass. Like, Zakai will be inside just trying to find somebody.
Point guard.
Yeah, but I mean,
they get stagnant like 99% of college basketball teams do in the half court at a time.
They might not get stagnant with Jacoby Gillespie. And that's one of those deals where Jacoby really, really just, I can't wait. Because Chaz Lanier, someone last year. Look, Chaz figured out, I think, in the second half of the SEC play on. But man, he needed the ball. Like, he needed someone
to. How many Maryland games did you watch last year?
Oh, dude, I was grinding the tape. Like,
were you really?
They called me Terps Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gonna have a Maryland flag behind you before long.
It's a cool flag.
Poster. Jacoby Gillespie behind you.
I will say, more of a Maine guy, more of a lobster roll guy, not really a crab guy.
You are JP Estrella guy.
Oh, love JP Estrella. Like, JP Estrella and I we need to find a way to converse on just the proper way to get lobster rolls, how to make lobster rolls, because there's nothing better than an elite lobster roll. If I could have one thing for lunch every day for the rest of my life, it's a lobster roll. There's a great spot in Atlanta that I miss all the time that just made premier lobster rolls, and until you've had like a premier lobster roll, you don't know what you're doing. Crabs, take it or leave it. Like, it's huge mess, takes forever. Like, you're cracking them, and it's just
oh my god,
no reason for crabs. And like, you know, it's like, I would ask if I went to a place, because I know there are some places where you like they give you the utensils to, like, crack open the crabs and stuff. I didn't come here to work. Like, I want that already cracked. Like, I think some people like enjoy the activity of actually cracking the crabs. I'm not that guy. I want them cracked for me. Just get it, like, put it in a bowl. I don't know, like, just have the actual meat just ready to go. I don't need to crack. I don't need the process. It's not for me. Don't need it.
I don't have a whole lot of takes on the East Tennessee crawfish.
Crawfish?
Shellfish, I should say.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Put some respect. Crawfish. Shellfish. Yeah, different market here.
I do like shellfish.
Yeah.
The crab cakes at Chesapeake's fantastic.
Crab cakes are good. Chesapeake's has some. I mean, we can go down that. Now we're just getting hungry because I could find a lot of things in the Chesapeake's menu that's pretty top notch. But that being said, here, Alex, when you look at the backcourt this year versus last year, do you lean more towards last year just being hard to top with the veteran leadership of Gainey and Chaz and Zakai, or do you think that and Jemai? But Jemai was also playing the 4, so it's just like hard for me to put Jemai in.
He was starting at the 3 for 35 games.
But he's more of a wing guy. It's just
so is Nate though. So like if we're doing,
I'm not including Nate.
Oh, if you're not including Nate, if Nate's not included in this conversation, they were better in the backcourt last year than they're going to be this year.
Interesting. Do you agree, Alex?
I think all around, because last year defensively, like I think it's trade-offs. This year, they're certainly going to be worse defensively. But last year, you had an all-around backcourt that could play defense.
Yeah.
They could score at times. I mean, they were pretty consistent scoring. And I think all around last year's is going to end up being better because you had, just the defense you got from Zakai and Jemai when he was there. I mean, it's just, I think it's going to be hard to top, but it's going to be close. It's going to be trade-offs between this year and last year. I think this year's will be better scoring-wise, but last year's I would probably take over this year's,
Who do you think has a better year overall, Berg or Lanier last year?
Chaz Lanier. Are you trying to bait me with that?
I was just saying where we were at. I just want to say Clarence Masamba plus Berg over Lanier. Who says no?
If Tennessee gets shooting guard production close to what they got from Chaz Lanier yesterday or last season, go ahead and book a hotel room in Indianapolis for the Final Four.
I mean, they just need to get the one.
He was first team. He was the Jerry West Award winner, Chase.
Yeah.
Old news.
Oh no.
Old news.
We're really like his day old crab is what Chase is acting like Chaz Lanier was last season.
Chaz Lanier,
he wasn't perfect, to your point.
I gotta be careful with how I phrase this. I didn't love the Chaz Lanier experience. Like it was great down the
You
stretch.
were ready to bench him in January.
I will still maintain Jordan Gainey was more important than Chaz Lanier for a lot of Tennessee season last year. I was more of a Jordan Gainey guy than Chaz Lanier guy. Chaz, it wasn't fair. He had to walk in the footsteps of Dalton Connect. He was not Dalton Connect. He was just more. He had games where he had the Dalton Connect show where when Chaz got hot early, it was like, oh, this is what you want. The flamethrower,
second best shooter,
right?
In Tennessee history.
Beautiful shot. But there were games where he was like, I'm going to do the Tony Snell, like I'm going to get some cardio in here. And we're going to look.
Just couldn't create his own shot.
Yeah, like it was kind of Tyreek Key at times. And it was a little
Tyreek Key. Come on.
This is so disrespectful.
Chase.
You're
talking about the best shooting guard in the country last year. Tyreek Key, one of the worst transfers we've ever seen.
Tyreek Key, look, all I'm saying.
Surprised you remember his name.
This is crazy.
Chaz Lanier floated last year, and it was, he got more comfortable as the season went on, but just the fact that he could not create his own shot, and he was not a great passer when he was starting to drive inside.
No, he definitely was not a great passer.
So it was just Chaz.
He wasn't a perfect player.
No.
To your point.
And look, I'm just saying, like it wasn't like I don't think the drop off or the idea that Berg plus Amari plus
all the shooting guards on our roster now
can six shooting guards that there hasn't been any separation with.
Well, like that, those guys can't. I want to know what their plus minus is. I want to see what they look like next to Nate.
That's not their plus minuses. Tennessee's going to be really good. Their plus minuses are going to be good.
Would you want to see Nate more at the 2 or like the 4?
Hold on, we're in the Cade at the 2 status right now.
Well, I'm asking, did you want to see Nate play the 2?
I mean, I would love to see Nate at the 2. Because I think that would be. I mean, I think the shooting is there, and I think
he's gonna be more important at the 4 though.
I mean,
Nate's going to get more minutes at the 2 than the
Rick
4.
does not want him at the 4. There's no way. Rick's. I mean. If we know anything about Rick, it's
what if he needs scoring?
I mean,
from the outside, that's what I'm worried about. Scoring from the outside. You mentioned Jacoby, but outside of that, I can't see Phillips being much of a shooter. Evidently shooting better in practice and things like that, but I can't visually see it the way he's so athletic around the rim and things like that. Like I haven't seen enough to know.
Well,
how I feel about the perimeter right now.
Well, I just think they're gonna get great shots. Like whether it's Berg, Abram, whoever. Like if they're playing next to Nate and Gillespie, they're gonna have a lot of good looks.
Like it feels like an inside-out team.
Oh,
it is.
Yeah.
100%. But I think to that point, like I get what you're saying with needing more scoring on the outside, but Nate at the 4, then you got to. I mean, it's kind of a challenge to find one guy at the 2 right now. I think not that they're not fine, not that they can't be okay there, but it's not like there's just some clear options, and then all of a sudden you're looking for 2 guys because really. I mean, I guess Masamba is a 3, but all the guys, anybody that's not Jacoby Gillespie or Nate Ament that plays 1 through 1, 2, or 3, we're talking about as an option at 2.
Well, I guess so how long do you go into the season like plugging in a 2 before you go to a Nate? Are you guys wanting to start him at the 2 to start the season?
I don't want to start him at the 2, and I would say I'm skeptical of how good Tennessee's offense can be with him at the 2 because of Cade's got to prove himself as a shooter at the 3, and same thing with Jalen Carey at the 4, and I don't think their 5s are going to shoot the ball much from the perimeter. I just think it's something we will see. Yeah. I think we will see that more than Nate at the 4 because I think they feel really good about what they have at the 4.
The overall team should be better defensively, right? Like, because you're protecting the rim, you're getting rebounds, you're long on the perimeter. Yeah. I mean, especially if you're talking about this 1-3-1 he was throwing in practice. Like, I got to admit, like, Jacoby's going to be able to play a little more aggressive. Guy gets by him. You got rim protection. Yeah. Like, I feel like that's a plus.
Yeah, I think their overall makeup, just with their length and their size, would lend to them being better. But Zakai Ziegler was one of the 2 or 3 best perimeter defenders in the country, and Jemai was the best defender in the country, period. So it's hard for me to truly buy them being better losing those 2 guys. But I don't think the drop-off is going to be massive either as a team. At those spots, it will be. At least a 3, I think it'll be massive. Because Jacoby's a good defender, too. Not Zakai, but a good defender.
When we come back, we'll wrap up with Evan Altman of Cubs Insider to talk some Cubs. Unfortunately for Alex Sarkis here, we're going to talk some
Alex
Cubs.
is going to love it. There's nothing good to talk about with the Cubs.
Coming off of a series loss against the Cubs, so this will be fun.
Well, there you go. Evan Altman joining us here to wrap up on a Tuesday. It's The Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app.
Congratulations. You found sports radio that doesn't suck. This is Fan Run Radio. Knoxville.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Hey Knoxville! Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, 0 carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone or just taking a deep, calming breath to ground yourself. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4242 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app. On the line right now, Cubs insiders Evan Altman joining the program. Doubleheader in progress here with the Cubs. So appreciate you jumping on here with a game in progress. Evan, how's it going?
It's going really well. I always enjoy, I'm used to being on a lot of the Chicago stations, so I appreciate having a little bit more Southern flair when I can hear the radio ads and everything in the background. It's wonderful. It's a nice change of pace.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Knoxville Smokies here, AA affiliates. You gotta stay locked in on what's going on with the AA Smokies here in the Cubs system.
Absolutely, and that's the one. I was really excited to have them in. I enjoyed being able to visit the Smokies when they were there a little bit. About an hour or so east, I guess, and we've made a couple of pilgrimages down there, but. Looking forward to a good excuse to get down to Knoxville, as if normally you don't need one. There's so much going on down there, but I'm really looking forward to see the Smokies' new home. So maybe later this summer yet.
There you go, Covenant Health Park. It's a great new look.
It is.
Shumpert and I have both been multiple times, and it's a great new ballpark here in the heart of downtown Knoxville. But we got a Cubs super fan here next to me here in Rocky Top Insiders, Ryan Shumpert. We have a Pirates super fan also helping produce here as an intern. So it's a house divided here, Evan, as we talk some Cubs here. But now that it's August 19th, the Brewers have run away with this division. Where are the vibes at right now with the Chicago Cubs? Do you still hold out hope that they can make a postseason run? If they get in, that this team might still be built for, with how open the NL is seemingly at the top? Like, where are you at with the Cubs right now?
Yeah, it's a really tough spot, right? Because on one hand, you have to look at it and say, the Brewers are playing out of their minds. There's, it doesn't even matter. There's the Brewers and the big gap, and then everyone else right now. So being in second place in and of itself is not awful. And the Cubs still have a pretty healthy cushion when it comes to the wild card. And then they've got a lead so far this afternoon on the Brewers after not even showing up to play yesterday. But it is really, really tough when you look at the pitching has been very, very good. But the Cubs are last in all of Major League Baseball in the second half in terms of runs scored. Maybe a game less played, but if we look at the month of August, they're even farther in last place, and they're only averaging around 2.8 runs a game over 16 games. So this isn't a small sample. We're not talking about a week. So over the last 2+ weeks here in August, the offense just hasn't shown up. And that's, and we're talking about them playing, no offense, the Pirates, some other, the White Sox, some other not great. And not only the Pirates, but Paul Skeens didn't face them. So we're not talking about a bunch of murderers row from the rotation side. So that's the frustrating part. Is it doesn't matter how good your pitching is if you can't score any runs, even against mediocre pitching in the regular season. That's just not going to do anything. So they've got to turn around Kyle Tucker in particular to have a shot at the postseason.
Evan, the offense is just the most interesting part because it's just been such a 180. I mean, it's the best offense in baseball for such a large part of the season. I mean, you hit on Kyle. I think that's just a completely different situation. But PCA, Seiya, Michael Busch, we're all having career years, young guys, and Michael Busch hasn't been quite as bad. At least the power has still been pretty solid as of late. All three of those guys have struggled mightily since the All-Star break. How much, I guess, especially for Busch and PCA, do you feel like this is them coming down closer to maybe what they truly are as hitters, and they were above their head? And how much belief do you have that those guys, besides Tucker, that were largely propelling the offense early in the season, can get back close to what they were doing when the Cubs had one of the best offenses in baseball?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always, in baseball, it's one of those sports, I think, because of the fact that they're playing every day, because they have so many games, that you see far more ups and downs, inconsistent play than you would under other circumstances, right? But at the same time, I think what makes it really tough is that generally you don't have that all happening at the same. Like right now, everybody's hitting poorly, almost everybody. Matt Shaw maybe being one of the main examples. But then in the first half, as you mentioned, they're all hitting as well as they've ever hit. And so it's this weird kind of, you would expect, hey, 2 or 3 guys are going to hit well and then slump, and then 2 or 3 will come pick up the slack. And I think a lot of that, though, it does come from when you have someone that's good and bad. I think to having, this sounds weird, to having a superstar kind of acquisition like you had with Kyle Tucker. And what I mean by that is sometimes I think that can be your trendsetter, right? Everybody kind of looks to him to be the man. And if that fades a little bit, as we've seen, I think that can have an impact on the rest of the guys in that lineup, and kind of how they go about it. But that said, it just like we talked about how hot the Brewers are. It's like, well, you can't keep winning at this pace. Maybe I would love to see them stop doing that. But same thing with the Cubs, right? Just as they couldn't really maintain as hot as they were as hitters, they can't possibly continue being as bad as they've been over the last couple of weeks. So I do think here toward the end of August and then into September, certainly, maybe that's even a good thing, right? If you're going to be cold before it really starts to matter. And if they can kind of catch that stride at the end of September, I think it'll be fine.
Go for it, Alex.
This is the Residence Pirates fan speaking. I was wondering if is there a way that we might see Craig Counsell go to maybe a lineup change in terms of PCA? I've heard some talks PCA leading off. Do you think that would be a possibility, or is that something that Craig Counsell has kind of shown some hesitancy to switch up the lineup because we saw what they did in the first half?
Well, let me throw Evan one more lineup thing on here too. Match, and I'm usually not a guy with a big beef on lineups. I think it's overblown. They had Matt Shaw hitting 6 opening day, and now he's the only guy that can seemingly hit on the team. Why do you feel like they're so prone to keep him in the 9th spot? Yeah,
that's been kind of the odd part, and I've pushed back on it. Even if we're just talking about once in a while, but this is certainly a team and a manager that's been very, very reluctant. Again, not to go back to the dead horse, but I would say anybody who's watched the Cubs lately has seen that Kyle Tucker just does not look like himself. His body language is not, results aside, the body language, the frustration is evident. And it's kind of one of those things where you say, hey, maybe we sit this guy down, because now we've got, again, a superstar who's being booed audibly in his home ballpark 2 games in a row. To me, that's just something you got to make that change for his sake to kind of just shift things a little bit, not as a punishment, nothing like that. But again, I'm with you. I would like to see them. We saw that a lot with Joe Madden, and I certainly had, would nitpick a few things of his, but he would do that and take a slumping guy or somebody different. A lot of times it was Anthony Rizzo, throw him in that leadoff spot for a game or two, just to kind of give a different look, to kind of get them out of their head. There is something to be said for the routine and being familiar with a spot, but I think there's also something that just goes with, let's shake this up. Let's make it a little bit different. We can go back to kind of the tried and true later. But I think whatever it is, Counsell's been very reluctant to do it, but he finally gave Tucker a break. And I think we're going to see a few things with the lineup that ideally, again, put Matt Shaw in a place where he can have an impact, because it's not happening too often in the 9-hole.
Is it over with Kyle Tucker? Like, do we see it? Like, how does this play out going forward now?
Yeah, it certainly feels like it's at an inflection point, because I think, and I don't necessarily know, I understand what management has said about the reasons for having him out there. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. And the difficult part, as I just noted there, on one hand, you say, well, we want to show confidence in this guy. We want to let him work through these things. We'd like to have this elite player around. But on the other hand, he wasn't really doing himself any favors in terms of his next contract with the way that he was playing. And then if you say, well, gosh, the vibes at Wrigley, they're so great. And, you say that, and then again, this guy gets booed on his home field. I don't know how he's going to feel about that, but I wouldn't say it's over. I do think that it's certainly a much more interesting dynamic at this point, because 2 months ago, it was all about, well, there's no way he's going to stick around because the Cubs aren't going to be able to pay him what he's going to command on the open market. Now you look at it and say, gosh, what can this guy go out there and still get $500 million? And if so, is he going to want to get out of town because now he's got a bad taste in his mouth? I really don't know where it's going to end up, but I think it's a very different conversation now than what it was in June.
You think there's been a disconnect with Craig Counsell and the front office over calling up Owen Casey. I mean, it just feels like a very odd situation to call up your top prospect. I know he's been in the lineup the last 2 days, but hasn't been that consistent. And does Kyle Tucker tie into that with maybe how the two sides see handling his situation?
Yeah, I mean, it felt like one of those deals. And again, we heard the explanation from Craig Counsell was that, hey, the best players are going to play, and Casey's not getting much time because we've already got really solid outfielders out there. And that seems an odd response when, again, we've talked about it. Kyle Tucker's been having a very, very rough stretch. Ian Happ got off to a pretty good start in the second half, but he hadn't been hitting really well. Seiya Suzuki's power has diminished incredibly from, he set a career high for home runs for a full season just in the first half alone, but then that's fallen off. You're thinking, well, it doesn't have to be an everyday spot. Casey could easily just give each of those guys a break, one after the other, rotate through. That would seem to make the most sense. Otherwise, why bother to call up a hot-hitting top prospect and then sit him on the bench when he could be getting everyday reps, right? That to me was the really tough part. And then to top it all off, his only play in that Pirates series was as a pinch hitter. For who? Matt Shaw, their best hitter in the second half. So I think there's this tendency, as a Counsell's kind of a player's coach, I think the veteran guys are getting the benefit of the doubt. But again, there comes a certain point at which that's got to stop. You have to do things that make more sense for the way the team is constructed. And without much evidence to support this, it does kind of feel like the front office may have gone in there and say, hey, I think it's time. We called the kid up. Let's let him get some run. And hey, lo and behold, Owen Casey drove in 2 runs with a single here in the first inning this afternoon in place of Kyle Tucker. So small samples, but at least it looks like it's working for now.
Yeah. Well, what can we look out from you over at Cubs Insider this week, Evan?
Just continuing to cover everything that's going on here in this Brewers series, and ideally maybe something will break from an offensive standpoint that we can kind of have some more fun with it. But I think continuing to look at what we are seeing from Tucker, what we'll be seeing from Casey, and maybe a little bit. I might get into breaking down some of Tucker's swing mechanics and have those have changed. So we'll see. It kind of depends on where the winds of this series will blow us, but hopefully in a good direction.
I love it. Thank you so much for the time today, Evan. We'll check back in again soon.
Awesome. Appreciate it, guys.
There we go. Evan Altman, great stuff from CubsInsider.com. This Tuesday edition of The Chase in the books. The Drive with Russell Smith and the Bear is up next. But thank you to Ryan Shumpert. Thank you to Alex Sarkis. Thank you to Brett Holander. Have a wonderful afternoon, Knoxville.